Hey guys, do you ever have one of those days where, despite your best efforts and your best intentions and your best laid plans, it just doesn't go the way that you wanted it to? Yeah, I'm sure we've all had those kinds of days. I filmed this video. This is my second, third. I've done kind of lost count how many times I've restarted this video. I went on this walk today at this place that I stopped by at on my way home from my niece's wedding. It's a place that I've seen several times on my drive, and I was like, oh, someday I'm going to stop by there. Well, today I did to check it out, and I thought, oh, this would be a great place to film a video. I didn't get to film yesterday in my 30-day challenge because I was just too busy with the wedding planning and getting all that stuff together. And well, not that I was involved in the planning, I wasn't, but getting, helping out, getting things together, just really wasn't time to do that yesterday. So I thought, oh, I'll stop by this nature preserve and that'll be a really great place to film. And it was. I made sure I had all my things with me. And so I took off walking, found this beautiful hike, just a gorgeous setting, everything, pulled out all my paraphernalia to film and talk for, I don't know, 13, 14 minutes. Didn't have time to edit or anything there. So I got home, was like, oh, okay, I should get that out. And so when I went to watch the video, guess what? There was no sound to the video. Yeah. So it's like, here I am. Okay. I can't even really remember what I talked about. I think I kind of talked about taking time out, trying something new, going down a new path, being adventurous. I'm sure probably everything that fit with what I was doing, right? Well, just a few hours later, I'm in a different headspace, right? Dealing with frustration, dealing with disappointment, dealing with being a novice. This is all new to me. The technology aspect of it is a bit of a challenge for me. I'm not of the generation where I grew up with a tablet or an iPhone in my hand. And so there's a learning curve. And just when I think that I've got it all down, I find out that no, my skills are still a novice level. And that's okay. I'm giving myself grace for that. Whenever we try something new, there's always a learning curve. You're not going to be perfect at it. And I listened earlier to a video where Renee was talking about perfectionism and overthinking, and that has certainly been something that's plagued me, that's gotten in my way of following through with plans, of unrealistic expectations of self and others, has always been something that I've struggled with, especially with myself. I've heard for so many years, oh, you're so hard on yourself. You're so hard on yourself. Yeah, part of that is just the nature of, for any of you all, for any of you all who know astrology, I am a Capricorn sun and a Capricorn rising, so that says a lot if you know anything about astrology. If you don't and you're interested, there's all kinds of ways to find out a little bit more about that. Um, but anyway, suffice it to say that I'm a taskmaster and have always kind of pushed myself. And that's served me well in many ways. It's helped me be successful. It's helped me get myself through college and graduate school and build a career. But it's also held me back with the overthinking. Is this the right thing? And it was funny because when I was watching Renee's video, she was talking about that, about the overthinking and the paralysis of analysis that we all get into. And I think when you're going through transitions or change, there's always going to be that aspect there. Is this the right thing to do? I don't know if I'm doing the right thing. And especially if you're in a place where you've lost confidence in yourself for different things that have happened. I'm not going to get into that today. That's probably a whole video in and of itself, what loss, how that can undermine our confidence. But anyway, today, so I get home and I realize this about the video, and I'm like, okay, I can spend a few minutes being frustrated with it, trying to figure out what I didn't do correctly, fix that mistake, and try again. So that's what I'm doing right now. I get really frustrated when I think I've got something down and it just doesn't work out the way that I have planned. Now, many times I have allowed that in my life to really hold me back, to discourage me, and to let that discouragement just stand in the way of getting done what it is I want to get done. I want to get this 30-day challenge done. I've made that commitment to myself. I don't know that this will be something that I will continue with. Maybe it is. Maybe it is going to be something I continue with. And I know I'll get better. That's the thing. I know that the more I practice, the more I'll get better, because that's the way it is with anything. When you're trying to build a skill, when you're trying to build muscle, when you're trying to learn something, you have to practice it. You have to be willing to be frustrated with your learning process, be willing to be frustrated with things not working out the way that you want them to work out, or the way that you think they should or they ought to, or whatever it happens to do, whatever your brain happens to get in the way of how you think about things. um, like right now, my little tripod thing is shaking. I'm not really sure why. I hope that, you don't find that too annoying. Maybe you do. I don't know. I'll get better at it. I'm just trying to get some good light, and this seemed to be the best place to where I could do that. Yeah, that's how I feel. There's a part of my brain that wants to tell me to stop. It isn't worth it, blah, 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 blah. But I've gone through a lot in my life, and I know that where I want to go, there are going to be trials and tribulations to it. There are going to be things that I don't get right, where I mess up, where I make mistakes. And today, I think the big difference is that I'm allowing myself to have grace, to give grace to myself, to be much more compassionate towards myself than I used to be. And that's been one of the things that's been super, super important to me, and the thing that has helped me in my recovery process is self compassion, not beating myself up for making mistakes, for not knowing things without having the experience. And I'm much more kinder to myself. I'm much more willing to accept that I'm learning, and that I'm not going to do this perfect. And it is through these learning processes, like making the video and realizing that the sound didn't come through, and having to exert all that time, energy, and effort to do another video. Well, I made that commitment to myself, to nobody else but myself, that I would give this my best shot, that I will absolutely do my best, even when it's hard, even when I don't know what I'm doing, even when I want to give up, because that's what rebuilding, reimagining, and recreating a life looks like. And it's not going to be easy. Again, I go back to, we need connection to help us through that. And I'm certain that that's something that I'll talk about more in the future in different videos. But today it's just all about perseverance, and not giving up when you run into obstacles, and believing in yourself and counting on yourself, and knowing that the destination is ever changing, right? I know from just having lived a life that you're never done. There's always more, right? There's always more down the road. You can get better at your skill and your craft, and there's nothing wrong with excellence in your craft. That's not what I'm talking about. But perfectionism is the thing that I think gets in the way, or fear, right? Perfectionism, in my experience, is all about control, wanting to have control of the outcome, wanting to control the narrative, wanting to control what other people think or say, or how they feel. And we just don't have that ability. We have that for ourselves and not anybody else. So don't let perfectionism and doubt stop you from taking action. Don't let making a mistake stop you from moving forward. Don't let barriers and obstacles be the thing that convince you that you can't start. Have some grace, have some self love, have some confidence that if you keep at it, you'll get better. Because I've never met anybody that kept at learning a new skill and practiced and practiced and practiced and didn't get better. Never seen it that way. Maybe they may not have gotten to where they wanted to, but they always get better, right? We're all of us are newcomers at one point or another, whether it's a job, or maybe you want to date again, and you're like, oh God, that's so scary. Maybe you haven't had to do that if you've been married, or you don't know how to fix the faucet or whatever it happens to be, right? But we can all learn and we can grow, and I want to encourage all of you to do that. I'm going to keep doing it. I thank you for your grace and your patience as I go through this learning process. But let me know for you, right? What is something that has been frustrating for you that you've had to keep at in order to gain a level of confidence and competence in what you're doing? What helps you to overcome your frustrations when things don't go the way that you want to? Let me know in the comments below, and I will see you soon. Thanks.